For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
NewsSpin calling, 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 calling. NewsSpin calling, 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 calling. NewsSpin calling, 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 calling. Across the land, all across the world, echoes of voices, we join hand in hand. Harmony rise in the afternoon sun. Come along, NewsSpin has begun. NewsSpin is the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. Truth from St. Lucia to sandy shores, from cities and hills to the Caribbean breeze. We sing together, hearts at ease, education to open every mind. Learn about your country, leave no one behind. NewsSpin is on your radio. Come along, hands in hands, voices in unity, singing loud. NewsSpin, who's the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. St. Lucian's heart to the world's every land. Knowledge unites us hand in hand. Yeah, Tim on NewsSpin call, bridging gaps between us all. Voices lift on high, under one sky we unify. Tim on NewsSpin call, bridging gaps between us all. Voices lift on high, under one sky we unify. NewsSpin is on education for all, from city streets to mountains tall. Learn your history, share your dreams. Together we light the world with our flame. NewsSpin is the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. Better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. NewsSpin is the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. Yeah, NewsSpin is the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world.
So good afternoon to everyone, including the Marcos. Yes, the Marcos. So good afternoon to everyone, including the Marcos. Yes, the Marcos.
Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. My name is Timothy Poleon. Of course, we go up until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to Shante, going through your comments in the chat room, and she's preparing to provide us with some updates. And of course, in a bit, your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And as always, you are listening to the broadcast on Power 97.9 FM. We are also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. As always, don't forget, please like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the NewsSpin channel grow. And grow, it is growing. We now have some 5,000 subscribers. Recommend some of these issues we should be discussing on our broadcast today, the NewsSpin stories. And somebody says there, with the mandatory deposits required at St. Jude, what happens to the poorest of the poor? Will the healthcare system just let them suffer and die? Another recommended subject, the geothermal energy the Labour Party government promised to St. Lucian. And of course, we have some other suggestions. So the suggestions provided to you, issues we should discuss during the course of our program this afternoon. All right, what's coming up as well? Let's exchange between the two senators, an opposition senator and a government senator. Because before the Senate yesterday would have been a bill seeking permission for the government to borrow over $70 million, and that is to address some of the island's water problems. And that's why we did pose a question with regard to the NewsSpin question of the day. Why play the blame game rather than desilt the dam? Why play the blame game rather than desilt the dam? Here is this exchange between opposition Senator Dominic Fede and government Senator Dr. Alison Jean.
On the way here, Mr. President, a layman on the street said to me that if those guys, referring to the governments, can't manage the water situation in the country, what else can they manage? Mr. President, I thought that those words were simple but very profound, coming from a layman on the street. The engineering advice I have received on the John Compton Dam coming to this debate and in preparation was that the dam was built originally to hold a total of 800 million gallons of water. Mr. President, I am told that the capacity of the dam, because of the silting, has reduced to 333 million gallons, which represents less than 50% of its capacity. This was mainly due to three major weather conditions: Hurricane Thomas, Hurricane Debbie, and the Christmas Eve trough. Mr. President, if you consider that Wasco consumes 8 million gallons of water daily for the, I think it was 58% of the population that consumes this water, hotels and other sectors must be added to that as well. It would mean, Mr. President, that if you divide 333,000 gallons, which is the storage capacity of the dam, by 8 million, we have somewhere in the region of about 41 days, 41.6, let's round it off to 42 days, if there is no rainfall. That is how severe this situation is. 42 days of storage capacity. I want you to contemplate that, Mr. President. So it means that you are less than 6 weeks away from a major crisis on your hands. This is what we're dealing with. Now, I want to say something, Mr. President, that I am quite relieved, actually, that finally the government has moved away from playing all this petty politics that has characterized the last 5 years of their stewardship, and are finally doing something about the water situation in the country. So coming here today to borrow 76 million to establish or to repair the water pipeline of the raw water treatment area coming from the John Compton Dam to the Thibbles treatment plant at Sisera, which is a major part of our water infrastructure, is crucial. And I am so relieved that finally the government has decided that they are going to do something about this situation. Mr. President, I've heard certain figures bandied about. There are more WASCO experts on that side. And I've heard figures as 55, people said as much as 60% of WASCO's treated water that is non-revenue water. It is lost because of leakage to the pipelines all over the country. And this pipeline, which is a major artery, I would imagine, in the whole water infrastructure, taking it from the dam to the treatment plant, would be no doubt a significant improvement towards that end in helping to reduce the amount of non-revenue water that WASCO would generate on a daily basis. So that's good. I give my colleagues a pat on the back for finally doing something good about the water situation. However, Mr. President, there is no excuse for not continuing the desilting program started by the Labour Party back in 2014, but continued by the United Workers' Party, Mr. President, where we were able to remove some 8% of the silt that was in the dam. So when we came into government in 2016...
Yes, Senator Shaw, what's your point of order?
Mr. President, the member is misleading the House. The administration of the St. Lucia Labour Party in 2014 did not start the dam project. I don't know what he's referring to, but it implies that they continued the project. They did not continue the project. And again, Mr. President, I have documentation which shows that the administration of the United Workers' Party abandoned a loan agreement with the Caribbean Development Bank for the loan for the John Compton Dam and created a new loan agreement when they came into office in 2016.
Thank you. Please proceed.
And if he wishes to make it a wishes me to make it a document of the House, I can.
Thank you, Senator Joe. Senator Vele, please proceed.
Oh, Mr. President, I always love it when the good senator rises on a point of order. Because you see, Mr. President, the desilting of the dam project did not start at the physical desilting of the dam. The actual project starts at the design, the consultancy, the feasibility, the environmental assessment, impact, and all of those things were done by the Labour Party in the year 2014. So this is what I'm referring to. I'm by no means trying to mislead the House. I do apologize if members may be confused by anything I would have said. But when I say that the silting project would have started by the Labour Party, that's what I meant. We came in, we didn't waste time, we didn't look for corruption, we didn't make false allegations, because we knew, Mr. President, that there were reputable institutions like the Caribbean Development Bank that were involved in the process. We knew that the NERC that was involved in the process, we knew it had a capable CEO at the time. And we knew, Mr. President, that the framework that was put in place, Mr. President, required the then CEO of the NERC to sign off all the objections to payment. Mr. President, the former CEO of the NERC went as even far as capping the project at $60 million. Mr. President, was
Mr. President, on a point of order.
Senator, yes, Senator. Yes, Senator.
Mr. President, the member is again misleading the House and putting my name in disrepute. As the CEO of the NERC, I did not cap the project. The NERC has a board of directors. The NERC is a regulatory organization. So he cannot put me as the one capping the project. I take very grave offense to what he said. He needs to retract it and apologize for what he said.
Sorry, well, he didn't mention any specific names, but I take the point, Senator. Can you please acknowledge what Senator Jha has said and please move on?
So, Mr. President, I know that you're a man of corporate governance, and I know that oftentimes there are close associations between boards and their CEOs. The people who do the day-to-day work, that's why you have a chief executive officer in name. It's quite instructive, you know, because that's the person who is the day-to-day. And what happens, Mr. President, boards oftentimes would endorse what CEOs recommend. But I wasn't on the board of the NERC. I was in government at the time, in the cabinet. And what I will say to you, Mr. President, was that the NERC, whether it was the CEO or the board, right, played an active role. And I am sure that the CEO at the time would be well placed to know that the project was capped at $60 million by the NERC. So if it is, today the CEO would like to backpedal to say, well, she didn't agree with the board, then that's a totally different argument. But Madam, Mr.
Senator
President.
Senator, why are you rising?
I am rising on a point of order. Senator Dominic Fady is imputing improper motive on the CEO of the NERC, who happened to be Alison Albofa Jha. And I would like Senator Fady to retract his statements.
Thank you. Yes, Senator Fady, in fairness, Senator Jha was not saying that she was backtracking or anything like that. She did imply that she was not the one responsible for making that decision. She's not denied that she was present. And I know both of you are trying to make a very narrow point, but I think there is validity in what Senator Jha is saying. So I'd encourage you, make your point, but move on.
So, very well, Mr. President. Of course, I mean, I want to leave the good senator with no doubt that my intentions are very good. I am only here in the best interest of transparency. So, if it is the senator is saying now that she is in the know, but she didn't make the decision, then I seek for clarity. I will yield on a point of elucidation to have the senator explain what really happened with the capping of the thing. Because I would like to know. I was not a board member, and I think in the interest of the debate, it would be interesting to understand what happened. And I apologize to the good senator that if indeed I said something wrong, then I would like to pull it back. But if she was, if the senator is in the know, then I yield the floor so that she could make some further elucidation on what really happened with the cap.
I think in the interest of us making more sufficient use of the time, the senator has already indicated that she was not the one who made the decision. I don't know that there's going to be much benefit in her explaining anything further at this moment. If she wishes to address it during her rebuttal, I don't have an issue with that. But I think we should
I'll move on,
please
Mr.
move
President.
on. Thank you.
quite an instructive exchange there between opposition Senator Dominic Fede and the leader of government business in the Senate, Alison Jean. Why instructive? Because you've heard that a certain amount of money was set aside for the desilting of the John Compton Dam. And then that figure had to be capped at a particular figure, a higher number. Only to find out, based on that exchange there, that basically it met the approval of the NUC, the National Utilities Regulatory Commission, and who was at the time the Chief Executive Officer of the NUC, one Alison Jean. That is what all the haggling was about. So Mr. Jean was saying, leave me out of this. Don't give the impression that it is on my watch, basically, or I made the determination that it should be capped at $60 million. The board decided, and I carried out the wishes of the board. But you were part of it. You were part of this process. And you see how people are so quick in St. Lucia to defend the good name. Nothing wrong with that. Defend your name. But also, we have to be transparent. And this is one such occasion I have to agree with the Prime Minister when he says that, well, you know, some reporters, we need some kind of lesson in the history of the island. What happens in St. Lucia, what has happened over the years, to understand it and to put those things into their proper context. Because people have been waving documents on television and accusing people of being involved in all kind of bauble, and only to find out there is more in the mortar than the pestle. And in this country of ours, rest assured that on most occasions, the players who are involved in the management of the affairs of the country are one of the same. There's just about the same individuals. Either they have been a CEO there, they become a senator over there, a few years later they become a government minister, etc. So the whole thing is just so intertwined. So you have to read between the lines. Do not be emotional. Focus on the facts. Don't allow people to veil you. So we, on this broadcast, try to present to you with the facts, because a lot of things in this country are not that straightforward. And you're learning up a bit, about Timbuktu. When you hear Prime Minister say, we'll go to Timbuktu if we have to get you water, there's a history. Let's put this into context.
I will budget in from Timbuktu if I have to.
So when the government would say that you will go to Timbuktu and take water, they didn't even think of that. They didn't even research it to see where Timbuktu is. Right? And I sat down there, I made them, and I'm like, you know what? Just leave that, because St. Lucians will not even get it. Because like the gentleman said, we have that herd mentality, whatever the people say. We don't do no research. We don't look up. And we have the technology at our hands. You can go on Google Maps, enter Timbuktu, and it will show you exactly where Timbuktu is. Right? And you can do the research for yourself. Those people have their own issues with water. So when Timbuktu is he going to get the water to bring to St. Lucia? But I'm so happy that the caller came out and he said that gave me a little oomph to call and say what I had to say about Timbuktu. And people need to wake up. We need to wake up, Timothy, because this is getting out of hand. We have the technology at our fingertips. We have a computer in our hands, in our phone, and we do not do no research. We do not. Oh, yeah. Maybe my hair is turning gray just thinking about that.
I will budget in from Timbuktu if I have to.
Let's take your calls right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Standing by is Jante to go through your comments in the chat room. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Timothy. How are you?
I'm okay, caller. How about you?
I'm well, thanks. I just want to make a quick contribution with regards to the capping of the dredging fee.
Yes.
A few observations. One, as CEO of the NUC, Miss Senator Alison Shaw would have been the person who would have put a recommendation to the board recommending the capping of the dredging fee, and the board would have acted on her instruction.
Okay, so why are you saying that? That's standard procedure?
Yes, that's how corporate governance works. The board responds to recommendations put before it. And I can say to you unequivocally that Alison Shaw would have put a recommendation to the board requiring them to consider the capping of the dredging fee, and they would have gone forward based on her recommendation. And I'm calling on members of the board in the person of Mr. Lawrence Nove, if that information is wrong, to come forward and to say that that is not it. But I can say to you, Timothy, this is the procedure for corporate governance. You've got a CEO who is responsible for operations. Something as the capping of the board, it would not move from the board. It would move from the CEO, the secretariat of the commission, to the board. That is one. Secondly, it is interesting because I recall, and if you go back to the what you would call the genesis, the establishment of the NUC, this was Jimmy Fletcher's brainchild. And all of the articles, they are right there if you do a Google search. The NUC is meant to be an independent regulator. So we also now have a conflict of interest where you have a CEO who was CEO of the independent regulator whilst also serving as a government senator. I don't know of any other regulators, utility regulators in the region where you would find a CEO being aligned politically. As the regulator, your role is to facilitate the economic development and to encourage the various contributions from stakeholders, of which the government would be one. So it is certainly what I would call a breach of governance and just the basic rule of regulation, utility regulation, any kind of independent regulation, that you would have the CEO also sitting as a government-aligned senator whilst holding that post. That's two. The third point...
But hold on, but yes, Mrs. Jean is no longer the CEO of the NUC, right?
She's no longer CEO of the NUC.
Yeah, but she served, I think she served for a while.
Yeah, for a significant period of time.
Yes, she did.
She was holding both positions as a major conflict of interest.
Yes.
The worst kind. The worst kind. Because you are supposed to be, in essence, a referee. You know, balancing the interests of various stakeholders, of which the government is one. So Mrs. Jean should know full well that it was certainly unethical for her to occupy that position in the Senate whilst also sitting as CEO. And that really and truly goes to, it's very suspect. It goes to motive, you know, when you begin to put all of the pieces together. The other points I would like to make, Timothy, the dredging fee, if you would recall, represents 10.43% of the tariff, of the water tariff. At the time, a tariff was awarded of 66.13%, and out of that, 10.43% was allocated for dredging. Now, if you look at the water and sewage legislation, the act, it will establish the processes for a tariff. And you would recall that recently we saw that the Water Authority, the WASCO, has put out an application for a tariff and consultations are being invited. We saw that there's been advertised a consultation, various town halls. I saw one for Grosile.
Yeah.
So when you have a tariff review, you must have consultations. What consultations took place to cap the dredging fee? That's a question to ponder. What consultations took place? Because I want to emphasize the dredging fee is clear, 10.43% of the tariff. The tariff requires, and it is legislated, and it mandates that there must be wide range consultation when a tariff is being reviewed. And it's also very interesting that one can cap parts of the tariff. You cannot cap parts of the tariff, Tim. When you are doing a tariff review, you are reviewing the entire tariff. So for you to disaggregate, pull part of it and cap it, I dare say that there is no provision in the legislation to support that. The legislation speaks to triennial tariff reviews, annual tariff reviews, and so forth. It is a holistic review of the tariff. So that, again, is very questionable as to whether there was even the authority to cap the dredging fee. The fourth and final point I will make, Timothy, is to
think we have lost the call. Okay, I think she's back. Yeah.
Are you still there?
Yes, caller. Can you repeat? You're saying the final point.
Final point. The National Utilities Regulatory Commission is established pursuant to an Act of 2016. Appended, it is the intention for you to have a regulatory body. When the regulator makes a decision, there must be an appeals provision. There must be a provision, a mechanism to appeal against the decision of the regulator. Now, I can tell you that all of those regulations, including the regulation relating to appeals of the decision of the regulator, is still in draft form from 2016. It's not yet implemented. So, essentially, the regulator is making a dredging fee without there being a mechanism to appeal her decision, the decision of the regulator. So, assuming that the water utility had concerns with regards to that.
Well, definitely the court.
When you can appeal to the High Court, but
okay, the call is breaking
that
up.
is the intention of the NERC suite of documents include.
Okay. What I will endeavor to do, since your contribution is so critical, is I will have to call you, caller, to see if you can continue your contribution. In the meantime, let's find out from you what's happening in the chat room, Jante.
Good afternoon, Tim. Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, Tim, them people don't have a plan for St. Lucia. Our other comment, Fede is smarter than the Je lady. Take several seats, my lady. Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, Tim, I want you to talk about the disrespect from Hile and Invest St. Lucia against Marie. Why should they force the lady out of a place that she has been selling for the past 40 plus years? The opposition senators were on fire, loved it. That's the only house sitting that I will watch. We have another comment here saying, that's people that know their job in the opposition senators. St. Lucia is a lending country.
All right, I suspect we have the caller. Good afternoon to you. Are you back on the line, ma'am?
Yes, I'm back on the line.
All right, so I had to call you back since your contribution is so gripping, so that you can conclude, make your final points.
Thanks for that.
Yes, ma'am.
So, what I am saying to you, and I'm saying to the minister with responsibility for the regulator, Mr. Stevenson King, You have a set of regulations in draft form, including one which deals with appeals from the decision of the regulator. Mr. King, can you please ensure that these regulations are implemented so that the intention of the function of the regulator can be wholesomely met? The regulator, if that regulator is going to make a decision, there must be an appeals provision, which is not the High Court, because we understand that matters to the High Court will take some time. The intention when you have this sort of economic regulation and the nature of the industry is that you want a quick turnaround on decisions, which is the reason why when Jimmy Fletcher birthed the regulator and he put together a team of experts to implement the Nook Act, there are a set of regulations that are supposed to accompany them. These regulations have not been implemented. So the opportunity for the utility that would have been WASCO to have been heard on the capping and question its legality did not exist, because the regulation, which is in draft form, which would have allowed them to appeal, and let us understand, you can't take that appeal to the High Court. Things drag. You need an instant response, and that is why in this sort of industry, you have a tribunal to respond to appeals. So it is very important that these regulations are implemented. And I want to say, Timothy, this is not only with the Nook Act. It tends to happen from time to time that we implement a substantive law, and there are a number of regulations that are supposed to support and underpin and enable the functionality of the law, and we take forever to implement those regulations. Okay? So in summary, just to quickly recap, we have the question, one, of the independence of the regulator, right? And whether that has been compromised. We have the question as to whether there was an appeals process for the utility to have challenged the cap. We have the question of the fact that the dredging fee is part of the tariff. And can you cut out part of the tariff and then decide that you're going to cap it? And we have the understanding that when a tariff is established under the Water and Sewage Act and its regulations, there must be a process of consultation to establish that tariff. So if you are going to interfere with that tariff, you must allow that same consultation. And I am also supporting that argument by saying to you that in the recent circulation we have seen for a proposed tariff increase, alongside with that, there have been town halls to have consultations. So where were those consultations before the cap was, the dredging fee was capped? So if we are going to be transparent, let's not put part of the story out. Let us be transparent, accountable, and the important thing to note is that it is very necessary for a regulator to be transparent. Otherwise, you lose your credibility and your legitimacy. Timothy, I thank you.
If you don't mind me asking you, ma'am, you could say yes, you can say no. You can't reveal your identity, ma'am. What's your connection with all this? Are you an attorney? Were you once part of the Nook?
I am an attorney who's very much au courant with those facts.
Okay.
And with the accompanying legislation.
Okay.
And I would not have ordinarily called. But I think that there comes a time in our society where we can't just simply stand on the sidelines. And if we need to give a full account so that so that the public is not misled.
Okay, ma'am. That's sufficient. Thank you so much for calling. And I will save your number and not share it with anyone else.
Thank you very much, Timothy.
Okay, thank you so much for calling. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. So you Marcos out there, don't call me and ask me to share the lady's number with you. I won't do that. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air.
And ask me to share the lady's number with you.
Rick Wayne, good afternoon. Okay, we lost Rick Wayne there. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Know that I'm sure that Rick will call in just a moment, but let me turn my attention to you again. Shanti, let's find out what's happening in the chat room.
Continuing off on Facebook, Tim, our other comment reads, "What are we doing? They said they want a loan to take care of the water, but we don't know if that's true." Another comment here saying, "Fede is schooling this woman. Dominic is boss man. He can handle himself. They didn't even mention your name. Chups." We have another comment here reading, "Fede batting the woman and she taking it hook, line, sinker." Exactly. The senator has told no lie. Fede has nothing to retract or apologize for. We have a few more comments on our Facebook page saying, "Say Saki Norm, Fede again."
Thank you so much, Auntie. I think Rick Wayne is on the line. Hello, good afternoon to you. You're on the air.
Hi, Tim.
Yeah, Rick Wayne.
You know, you watch that clip and you hear this very good exchange you had there with your caller there.
Yeah.
And you put it all together. And what is outstanding to me, and I've said it before many times on your show, it's the arrogance of that particular senator. I've talked about it many times. And a lot more is expected of her, bearing in mind her history, personal and official. A lot better is expected of her. She obviously wants to come off as being one of the brightest sparks, and she probably is. That doesn't take much. But you know, so many times the woman was less interested in accountability in terms of what Dominic Fede was saying. And when Dominic Fede, in his capacity, is talking there, I mean, you're supposed to be leaning over backwards to give clear answers, unambiguous answers, because you're not really talking to Dominic Fede. You are talking to the people of this country to whom you owe accountability, both in your situation of the CEO thing and as the Senate. But over and over, she kept interrupting and asking for personal apologies and her good name and I so and so genre. I mean, this is arrogance, palpable arrogance. Those people have to understand that when they're in the House, it's not their personal things or their emotions or their feelings anybody gives a damn about. What we want to know is accountability, how every cent is spent. The country is in serious trouble for years of this poor accountability, and the people who are ready to just eat any crap on the basis of which party. That's why the idiots who call me and tell me I don't mention Philip Pierre's name. Philip Pierre is responsible for everything I say about his government. The idea of calling out names and whatnot, I do it when I have to, but nobody's going to tell me, call a name. That sounds like me put you over the fence. If I say something about Philip Pierre's government, the buck stops at Philip Pierre. So understand that. Now, there's one more thing I want to say, on this. But the accountability situation, Pip. Oh yeah, I've been through that. The Timbuktu. Now here it overturns. I was very pleased to hear the lady talk about Timbuktu. To be quite honest, Tim, I always considered Timbuktu just a metaphorical thing.
Yeah.
I my ignorance. I didn't even really know the place exists, let alone where it exists. So that was fine information from your caller. Let me make that clear. But Timbuktu is normally used as a metaphor.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if Philip had... And it's the same thing happened with the island assassinating about barking dogs. Same damn thing. Only we don't have the bright people to take those things apart. When Philip Pierre says, I will go all the way to Timbuktu or whatnot, for me, it's unfortunate that it ends up to be in the desert. It's unfortunate. But it's still metaphorical. And when Alan Shastner said barking dogs, it was figure of speech as well there too. Okay? Now we have figures which going back at Philip. If Philip had said, when it comes to water, I will, what it takes is to get water out of stone as opposed to blood. If it takes wherever it is, I'm going to find it for St. Lucia. Timbuktu, that would have been so much to the point and show. But these guys are careless because they know they're talking to a bunch of morons. Like that guy who called you yesterday and very articulately put it, much better than I have ever put it. He says St. Lucia has some very smart, educated, articulate individuals. No denial. And they're represented by people like Derek Walcott and so on and so on. Some very intelligent, intelligent individuals. But collectively, it's a moron country. And the evidence is all around us when we tolerate what we should not be tolerating if we have half a brain. Look at what that lawyer caller went there. She's the only lawyer in the whole country who is affronted by that kind of stuff. She's the only person who knows what she's saying there. There's no former person from the government and so on who could speak on those things. And I would like people like Dominic Fede, when he knows what's on the paper, to come armed with documents because he's a minister. He was a minister. He knows how these things operate. He has access to it. Come with a paper so that people like Jean cannot mount on platforms there and pretend to be bright and her name is beyond touching her. Nobody cares about Jean's name. They care about Jean the senator being accountable to the country. We don't care what underwear she wears. We don't care what perfume. We don't care. We don't care how she looks. So don't tell us, my name is Jean Albert or whatever. We don't care about that. Deal with the details of what Dominic Fede has brought up. Thank you very much, Dave.
Thank you so much, Rick. Somebody says there in the chat room via YouTube, happy Friday, New Spinners and our neighbors in Timbuktu. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let's see there if we have some of your WhatsApp messages. Our regulatory body is just a sham. It's square pegged in wrong hole system. Rick, I wonder if those political goons know the difference from being a politician versus personal life. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, Labour Party followers are all possessed by the same evil spirit. Liars, manipulators, scammers, and they are quick to put up an arrogant defense. Watch the spirit at work in all of them. They are quick to play victim when they are perpetrators, troops, according to a WhatsApp message. And let's see there if you have some more of your comments to go through there. Somebody says there, who was this last call on the Nook? So intelligent, so well read and well educated. We need a proper breakdown of everything she has said. Let's see if you have a call in the landline. In the meantime, a WhatsApp message. Let's see there what you are saying. Somebody says, Tim, if Philip Pierre could tell us that Martinique is in Europe and on earth, would he know where Timbuktu is? Woy, Sasho. We have a call. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, team. How are you?
I'm okay, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Sante, how are you? I'm good. Team, I realized a professional has heed the call of NewsSpin to start contributing to St. Lucia.
Mm-hmm.
And the word well is St. Lucia. And I'm going to continue where she left off.
I don't think you can match her, you know.
I don't need to match her. I don't need to match her. But she would have to come back again and help us and clarify.
Right.
We are asking St. Lucians to harvest water. I sense something in what Ernest Healy said, that Wasco should have been privatized years ago, and the UWP make noise. And the Prime Minister said conserve water. Wasco need to tell us, or the government need to tell us how far they are with privatization, because I see it coming. But in the legislation governing Wasco is responsible for every drop of water in this country. And if we are pushing for people to harvest water, we need to go into the legislation or all the clause in there and remove it that if you privatize water, this new company will not send me a bill because I have a tank by my house collecting water. Because once you privatize and people start doing wells in the ground by their home, they would have to pay for it. I can share this with you, Tim. In 1999, 2000, I wanted to put a well because we were having issues with water in the Mabia Valley. And where I was living, we were in the lowline area. I had a friend, because we had done the one for Sanders, and the guy told me he can put a small well in my yard and to put it on. And when I went to Wasco, they tell me even in the river, if I go for water, I need permission from them. I need permission from them to take water in the river. And I said, can't be right. And then they point me to the legislation. So I know it exists, team. So I'm saying if we're talking about harvesting water, we need to go in there now and look at all of this and take it out. Make it more liberal for people to do things to help themselves. It's just like the same thing for Lucilec. You cannot go on Lucilec greed. Lucilec give you a certain amount of energy you can, electricity you can produce to be with them. The reason for, they have the power. Even you can afford to put it that, they have the power to tell you cannot. Okay? So we need to look at all of that. And the time has come for them to be honest with us and see how far they have gone with privatization. Because a little bird tells me it is coming, and it's coming now. And again, I heard for Grosile, before we go and run new lines in Grosile, it's needed, but we need to do something for the Roseau Dam, and it needs to happen now, because when rain starts falling and you have more turbulence, and this water, we still will not be able to feed enough with water. I am recommending to the government as a temporary measure, instead of barging water from Dominica, speak to the Army Corps of Engineers, get this 40-foot plants, water treatment plants. Put one in the Barbona area. Let the hoteliers go and take water there. Move them on the Wasco grid now. Put them to carry the water. It's closer for them. It will be cheaper for them instead of coming to Viewport. And start to do these measures to help us. Because if we have a prolonged drought, we're getting a little bit of rain, even that cannot help. But the time has come for us to take critical decision, not cosmetic. Not cosmetic for politicians to be raising the chest, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. We have to go back to the drawing board and create a blueprint for development for St. Lucia, where there is road, electricity, water, hospitalization, sports. We need to have a blueprint and a clear marking. Your caller called it yesterday. It's not just a 15, a 30 year from now, we know where we're going. And it doesn't matter if it's Philip J. Pierre, if it's Ernest Healer, if it's Sean Edward, if it's Shasley, whoever will emerge will follow a pattern of development for this country. And not just for doing mediocre things to stay in power. Team, I had enough of your time today. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much. Somebody says they have WhatsApp. The moment of levity, I could imagine somebody says, one drink I will never use is E and J. E for Ernest and J for Jean. When you listen to Alison Jean and Ernest Hilaire, it's like a hangover already. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We'll be back in just a moment with more of your calls, your WhatsApp messages, and yesterday's NewsSpin callers of the day.
Advance your career at LightSpark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, LightSpark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
What happens when the music is stripped down to the truth? On April 29th, First National Bank presents the Teddyson John Experience at the luxurious Royalton Resorts. Raw vocals, live music, real emotion, an intimate night where Teddyson John opens the heart of the music. Also from Trinidad and Tobago, featuring Nyla Blackman. From St. Lucia, Michael Robinson. I'm gonna make you mine. Herb Black. I'm so sorry. Umpa. That's one day now. And Ricky T. Sharing their stories behind the songs and connects with you up close. This is more than a concert. It's a feeling. Stripped, April 29th. Royalton Resorts, limited seats. One unforgettable night. It's definitely my type of night and my type of vibes.
Tickets for this event are $100 USD, food and drinks inclusive. Ticket locations: Anthony's Jewelry, Castries and Baywalk, The Wave, and online, fourcirclestickets.com.
Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with Loose Select. No more paper, no more mess. Easy billing, no stress. Use my account to pay online. Pay your bill at any time. Get the stress off your mind. No more standing in line.
Visit LootSelect.com today and sign up to my account to pay your bill. Request a temporary or new connection or switch an account to your tenant's name. Do it all online.
Personal, paperless. Use the virtual service desk. Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with Loose Select.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
So fast pay, on you an easy way to pay. So fast pay, so fast pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
Flow fast pay, 2 minutes and you're on your way. Flow fast pay, flow fast pay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
Chronic back pain, arthritis, spinal injuries, nerve disorders, even painful cramps. These conditions affect daily life, but you don't have to live with pain. Every day matters when it comes to your health. At La Clinique du Corps, we provide fast, accurate diagnosis with advanced GE certified MRI technology and internationally recognized specialists. Our focus is safe, effective treatment that restores mobility, relieves pain, and gives you back your quality of life. Call 451-6559 today. 451-6559. La Clinique du Corps, because time is vital in health.
First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true. With a mortgage built around you, tailored to make sure everything's smooth. 100% financing, it's true. Get a first wish mortgage, it's the best move. Get your mortgage now and fulfill your first wish. Just knowing that First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true.
Visit your First National Bank branch or firstnationalbankonline.com to apply for your first wish mortgage.
At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, we offer high-quality products from Martinique, and our ready mix is made with casting sand, not regular pumice. Compared to regular pumice, casting sand saves you in your cement use. At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, our materials come from porcelain stones, which is used as an additive in creating cement. Caribbean Pastouche Limited is located in Bexar, behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastors Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
The ultimate Easter Sunday experience is coming as Optimum Events presents Rise 6 Azul. Rise 6 Azul. Shades of blue and unforgettable energy featuring soca sensation Vaughn.
Everybody know what our behavior from July reach in Grenada.
Vaughn live.
Just take a shot when they see me dog. I want to get drunk for the carnival.
The Grenadian bad boy, Vaughn. Also, Ezra, Sly, and the Impulse Band, alongside the best DJs. Easter Sunday, 3 p.m. The Soufre Stadium comes alive. Tickets, $120 regular. More at the door. VIP, $400. Available at the Cell Outlets island-wide. Wings of Love in Castries. Mambo's Bar in Soufre. Or online at fourcirclestickets.com. Powered by VAC Event Production. Power 97.9 FM. Heineken. Bank of St. Lucia. Courts. Bounty Rum. J.P. Shennett. And Blue Waters. On Easter Sunday, we rise.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. It's on Power 97.9 FM, the NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. We present to you one of our two NewsSpin callers of the day yesterday. Let's listen.
I support Alan Chastney and the Flambeau. I will not buy into everything Flambeau says. Hook, line, and sinker. Are you stupid? What I look like? A moron out? To just believe in every single thing a man or woman who is not infallible say to me, and I'm just supposed to just accept it. Okay? Y'all are doing nothing. You guys, the current administration is doing nothing except borrowing money and passing the blame onto Alan Chastney. And frankly, if you are not tired of it already, I'm going to go off on a limb and call you a bloody retard. You are mentally retarded if you don't get tired of these things. It's people who suffer from mental brain injuries, Tim, who enjoy repetition. You have to suffer a brain injury to enjoy the same old bullshit every single time an issue arises in the country where the government should be held accountable and responsible. They pass the buck, and their supporters are like, "Hey guys, Chastney point to Ghana, guys, and West Ham is for them like $69 million, like 10%. So what about the dredging fees you guys have been collecting? Where has this money been going to? What you're doing? Ça so qu'a fait l'argent, messieurs? Ça so qu'a fait puis nous pas qu'à way." And I heard a lady talk about the hotel in Canals. Which hotel? Which hotel? I had the liberty of going down there last year in April after Peter Chico showed us what going on there. Free Chinese that day with a free-wheel van and mashing up our mangrove, eating everything from baby lobsters to everything. What the man feel they doing? Where is the BMAX project? Where is the shock housing? Where are the condos? The condos in Cul-de-sac? Huh? Nothing not happening in the country, guys. You'll stop everything as a airport development, everything you'll stop, guys. And then you'll poison in the mind of the people of the South and tell them Chastney put horse before hospital when the horse was a private endeavor. You cannot tell a private citizen what to build with their money. A private citizen don't owe St. Lucia no hospital. If it's his choice to contribute towards it, and that's his choice. But he's a private citizen, he's not the government. Government not owe you public hospital. When is the hospital opening? The physiotherapy building and the kitchen, that's still open. The people are still in the stadium. Last time I heard a lady saying about how the people in the emergency ward have to go and bathe outside. Because we're not even a third world or far periphery country anymore. Or developing nation. We're a fourth world country, guys. It's a fourth world country, guys. Every day we're getting more backwards. Every day as every other country makes strides to go forward and improve the lives of their citizens. We go more backwards. Now we have to order water from Dominica. The man cannot even say he go badge water from Miku. He go badge water from Timbuktu. He cannot even, they hate people in the south so much. They hate us so much. They outsource their cattle problem to us. And they won't even truck water from the south to take it to the hotels. And if it's a private endeavor by SLHT and whoever and whatnot, what's the dumb sense of you mentioning it in Parliament and then you have your cohort standing behind you, applauding you. Every little thing you say, they clapping as if what you said is so profound that you're going to order what. Yeah, you familiar with the story of the emperor and his new clothes?
Mm-hmm.
When the emperor was walking down the street naked and everybody was cheering, and in his head, he was thinking that, oh yeah, they're cheering for me, but he's not realizing that they're laughing at his micro penis. Okay? This is what Philip JPA is, a naked emperor. He thinks that the people are cheering for him because they love him. No, they're cheering for him because they know if they cheer for him, he's going to do their will. He's going to bend to their will. So they show, okay, and then because they're cheering for him, he has that in his heart that, yeah, he's strutting around like a peacock as if he's the man. You're not no man. Guys, do us all a favor, guys, and hang your political boots, guys. You don't see the state of Masha? You don't see the state of Central Castries? When's the last time you've been to Castries? Castries smell like Somalia, guys. And now to make it worse, they don't have no water. Castries going to smell worse than Somalia. I mean, come on, bro. And then people come and, oh, my government is working and I'm there. Guys, my fashion have with me. My fashion, anyway.
Caller from Canada. One of our two NewsSpin callers of the day. A WhatsApp message. Tim, I'm sorry for the poor people going to St. Jude. So no entrance fee, no visit. My cousin had an emergency upon arrival. He sat on a chair for 5 hours, weak and restless. By the time a family member went out to get some finance to get back to the hospital, he was dead. Poor job. That's according to our WhatsApp message. Let's see if we have a call on the landline. In the meantime, we have a message to go through. The opposition come in well and ready yesterday. Alison Jean had no kind of defense. She was just not prepared for that setting and she got caught. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Hello, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm okay, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Okay. Tim, I must say I had to call. I had to call. It's especially in reference to that nook. Tim, can I say, as a citizen, and basically I was born here also, I would like to say one thing. And what I'm saying is, I'm very, very, very worried with this expenditures that is coming through our island right now. Tim, as much as we're talking about water, we have forgotten gas and we have forgotten electricity. Those are our two basic necessities from the utilities company. I can say that as to the gas, and I'm talking about the LPG, they look at the LPG gas.
Cooking gas.
Yeah. The reason I'm saying I'm very worried, the cooking gas is, I'm not too sure if it's not underneath the nook, because there is no one company that is doing it. But it would be, I would like for the nook, and I hope they are listening, to take on, in fact, to regulate that utility.
No, I don't know. It's not under the jurisdiction, caller. They can't just do it.
Well, if they cannot do it, they need to put something in place to try and get it done. Just like that, just like water, we do not have to wait until we get a crisis and then for it to head to that direction. The other thing I would like to say, I would prefer for, based on Lucilec and what I have seen Lucilec have been doing, because right now you can see probably they have reached the max, and they actually, even at the Union depot or the Union, utility area, I have seen that they've put in some new generators. So in other words, they are being proactive rather than reactive. What I'm saying, if Lucilec can do it, why couldn't Wasco do the same? That's my concern. My other concern is that building that where Montplaisir used to sit, that's opposite the Castries Comprehensive School, is that where the new courthouse will be?
Yeah, that's where it's located, yes.
Okay, that is where it's located.
To deal with the backlog of cases.
That's right. I haven't got a problem with that. But have you had any information or data to state that how much it will actually cost us? Who was the one? Who was the contractor who did that project? And are we renting, or did we purchase or inherit the land? Those are the things that government needs to tell us. You see, when you are prime minister, and as a prime minister, you're supposed to be honest with the people which put you in. And I'm tired of hearing the prime minister, sometimes when he makes his phrases or he speaks, he refers to SLP. Mr. Prime Minister, you are not just an SLP Prime Minister, you are Prime Minister for St. Lucia. And I know you're listening. You are a Prime Minister for the people of St. Lucia. Election has finished, and we need to get our country intact. You've done good and you've done bad. Let us be honest with what we are doing for the country. And lastly, with all the hotels that we are building, didn't someone take the data to see that we cannot supply this hotel with all that water that they are asking for? DCA should have at least give Wasco all its information, and to say to Wasco, hey, because of the amount of water that those hotels require, you will need to step up your game. And like every St. Lucian know, management at Wasco is the problem. So, Mr. King, if this is your area, I would like you to let St. Lucia Electricity take over Wasco and let them manage it for you, because they are doing a much better job than Wasco itself. Thank you.
All right, so thank you so much for calling. WhatsApp message: Tim, I just left the supermarket in Timbuktu and NewsSpin was being monitored. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. Okay, let's see there if we have another WhatsApp message. We are waiting your calls in the meantime. Somebody says that the caller is correct with what she just said. Regarding the Nook. And we have another WhatsApp message. I think we have a call. No. Let's go through another message. Somebody says that, Tim, I thought there was no NewsSpin today. Of course, we were just pulling your legs yesterday. We were bluffing, all right? Okay, we will never take you for granted and just decide not to have a NewsSpin program. All right, let me turn my attention to you, Janti. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
Starting off on YouTube, Tim, our first comment says, yes, Rick, I agree with you. I don't think he literally meant Timbuktu, the place. That's an informed caller. We need the full story. Another YouTube comment saying, all great ideas. It is the UWP with the clearly defined blueprint for St. Lucia's development. It is and has always been the UWP, but alas, St. Lucians don't want the UWP. Everything St. Lucians are experiencing and going through is what they voted for. Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, exactly, that's their strategy, to distract. Rick, you are on fire. I agree with you, Rick. She acts like she's the brightest spark. She pretends like she's the only senator in the House. We have more comments on our Facebook page saying, oh wow, the speaker singing for his supper. I agree, Rick. Before Fede talk, she flying up. No apologies needed at all. We have another commenter saying, the difference between competence and incompetence is exactly what we witnessed earlier on. Their memory lapsing. Ain't nobody spoiling their names but themselves by themselves. Woman, tell us the truth. Don't just leave it there. Another comment saying, Allison is the CEO and pretending that she doesn't know what is happening. Enlighten me, caller. That lady knows. After the lawyer sweep her underneath the rug, Rick came and stomped on it. We have another comment here saying, SLP always borrowing millions and nothing to show but unfinished investments. Stick to one thing and finish it, then comes the next. after 1 is 2, not 4 or 5, shaking my head. But she is part of the Senate now, trying to bat right, left, and center to prevent the truth from coming out. Allison wanted Fede to stop before he exposes her, but Fede was much smarter than her. Another NewsSpinner said, Tim is the only St. Lucian I've heard pronounce the word mechanism correctly. I am at the University of NewsSpin getting my doctorate today. We have a few more comments here saying, where are the hacks today? The truth is coming out. Ha, the truth really hurts. I see you can't deal with it. Marsha is the Dayglow Dam. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much. Let's go through some of your WhatsApp messages. Okay, let's see there. 4522979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Do we have a WhatsApp message to go through? Just trying to go through as many of them as possible. Okay, stand by for that. Okay, let's hear now from the island's Prime Minister, speaking recently, that's during the pre-cabinet press briefing regarding the water situation and blaming, among other things, climate change.
The fact is, there is a water issue in St. Lucia and in the entire world because of climate change. Even though the Prime Minister changes, the water situation will not improve. I just want the public of St. Lucia to understand that this water situation is not a political situation. It is a situation that we must, as a country, decide that we have to get involved in water storage and water harvesting. We have to. The government will and has continued to spend millions of dollars on improving the water situation in the country. We have issues with age infrastructure, we have issues with distribution. I will not go into the history of successive governments and how they manage Wasco. We haven't got to go into the past all the time. Fact is, there has been substantial investment by this government in Wasco. And fact is, the water situation is a situation that the entire country must take as a problem that we have to solve as a country.
You just heard there from the island's Prime Minister, Mr. Philip J. Pierre. Let me go through a message that was posted in the NewsSpin WhatsApp group earlier on today, and that is pertaining to Marie Fishak at Ridley Beach. And it says there, what is the difference between Marjorie at Casabar Beach and Marie at Ridley Beach? Why does Sweetheart deal with Marjorie involving millions compared to the scant regard for Marie, who has been operating at the Ridley Beach for over 40 years? It is atrocious how this authentic St. Lucian entrepreneur is being rushed off beachfront lands that she has occupied for so long, with threats from authorities to bulldoze and demolish her place of operation. The approach of Invest St. Lucia towards this lady is very sad and screaming out for examination and attention. Was Invest St. Lucia set up simply to accommodate proposed foreign development at all costs and to the detriment of natives? Why the harsh and brutal treatment of this daughter of the soil? Where is the socio-cultural considerations of Invest St. Lucia in dealing with this situation? Why the rush? If her alternative accommodation is not ready/complete, then why not wait? This insensitivity from people who sit in air-conditioned offices and appear to be detached from the St. Lucian reality must come under immediate review. Based on the MO of Invest St. Lucia in this case, there is need for urgent and major reform of this vital agency, which is at the forefront of our nation's development. And it continues, one must be concerned at the manner in which significant components of our nation's patrimony is being snatched away from right under our noses with absolutely no consultation or input on our part. This has far-reaching implications for the kind of St. Lucia we inherit tomorrow. Our rights and access are being compromised. Is all of this being perpetuated to the benefit of a few who we have entrusted with the stewardship of our nation? Hopefully, our sons and daughters of St. Lucia will wake up soon to demand a greater say in the affairs of our nation and the decisions which impact us all. Finally, the question must be asked: where are our civil society organizations and the scores who assembled at Castle Bar Beach in support of Madry? This naked hypocrisy should not go unnoticed. This is a call to those Jack don't want me to bathe on my beach activists and other questionable St. Lucians to stand with Marie at Redry Beach. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Still to come, we'll have a few calls. We have our NewsSpin news of the day. We have another update from Jante and another NewsSpin call of the day extracted from yesterday's broadcast. Stay with us.
Advance your career at Lightspark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, Lightspark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
To have a strong structure, you must have a strong foundation. And at Caribbean Pastouche Limited, we offer top quality aggregate materials at great prices. We supply high quality ready mix, cast in sand and plaster in sand. We also take special requests for specific materials that you may require for your building projects. Caribbean Pastouche Limited is located in Bexon behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastouche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true. With a mortgage built around you, tailored to make sure everything's smooth. 100% financing, it's true. Get a first wish mortgage, it's the best move. Get your mortgage now and fulfill your first wish. Just knowing that First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true.
Visit your First National Bank branch or firstnationalbankonline.com to apply for your first wish mortgage.
La Clinique du Corps leads the Caribbean in advanced MRI, aligned with globally recognized standards. Avoid overseas stress, delays, and cancelled scans. Reports in 24 to 48 hours. No translation, no overseas processing. Your doctor receives your imaging directly for seamless continuity of care. All major insurance accepted. Call 451-6559. Once again, 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. The WhatsApp number 721-9950.
Need branded apparel that looks sharp and shows up on time? Welcome to Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts. We specialize in custom embroidery and t-shirt printing for businesses, teams, events, you name it. From embroidered logos on polished Oxford shirts, available in a variety of colors for men and women, to bold, high-quality printed tees that turn heads, we do it all. Bring your own shirts or choose from ours. Small runs, big orders, rush jobs, no problem. At Imprinted Designs, we're built for speed, efficiency, and clean professional results delivered on time, every time. So if you want your brand to stand out, not wait around, come down to Imprinted Designs at the Valmore Plaza or hit us up at 451-2920 or email address imprinteddesignsSLU@gmail.com. Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts.
It's in the feeling and how we talk. It's in the meaning and how
something real? Get ready to experience the ultimate destination for unforgettable memories. The Roadhouse Experience. Feast your senses with exceptional service, all under one roof. From our classic restaurant and bar to our exclusive private nightclub. Unwind at our elevated hookah bar. Gather in our versatile conference room for any event. Or even shop at our variety store. Ditch the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary. Raj Roadhouse promises real vibes, real fun. Nestled in cul-de-sac along the Bexar Highway. Call us at 286-6249 for more information.
Lucelec would like to inform customers that its automated account inquiry service at 457-4433 is temporarily unavailable. Customers are encouraged to sign up for the free Lucelec My Account online service at myaccount.lucelec.com for access to their account information, including their bill balance. Customers may also call or WhatsApp 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593 or email customersupport@lucelec.com for assistance from the Lucelec Customer Service Department. Lucelec deeply regrets any inconvenience this may cause and thanks customers for their understanding and patience.
Are you a young poet with something to say? Then this is your moment. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank presents the 2026 Creative Youth Competition in Poetry, calling all secondary schools and college students from across the 8 ECCB member countries. If you're between the ages of 12 and 15 or 16 and 20 years old, this competition is for you. Express yourself on powerful topics like Voices of a Changing Caribbean, Becoming Me, Exploring Identity Growth and Self-Discovery, and Through My Own Eyes. Let your words inspire. Massive prizes to be won. First prize, $3,000. Second prize, $2,500. And third prize, $1,500. Entries close on March 31st, 2026. So don't wait. Start writing today. For more information, visit www.eccb-centralbank.org. The 2026 Creative Youth Competition. Your voice, your story, your future.
Let's be conservative and say we get $1 billion from CIP, okay? That's $9 billion. And the other borrowings and the $200 million for the hospital, whatever, let's say another billion. So that's like $10 billion. And according to all the numbers, it should be more than that. But let's be conservative and say $10 billion. Even if it's $9 billion, do you see $3 billion worth of work in St. Lucia? I didn't see it. The airport's not done. The hospital's not done. There's no medication. People complain around the place. The water problem is acute. If you say water is life, and you keep saying that, you come and say, water is life, we know the importance of water. You spent 4.5 years there. You didn't dredge, not even 1%, but you quarreling with the government that was there before you that dredged 8%. Plus, the government had to put, the first $25 million the government spent was to set the foundation, do the feasibility studies, put things in position. You have to do the foundation, the groundwork, just like you go to build a house before you even build a house. And then there are 3 levels to the dam. The dam, the bottom level, which is critical, which is important, was sedimented. So you have to get to those holes on the bottom there. Otherwise, it's an exercise in futility. Any engineer who knows their work will tell you that. So we need leadership. We need these people to, instead of standing up there and blaming somebody else, let them know that they know that because they studied. They have PhDs, and I don't know where they got them from because obviously either they know that and they're trying to pull the wool over our eyes, or they that stupid. Because after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you're complaining about the people who actually did 8% and you did nothing, but you want to tell St. Lucians they are to be blamed. Now, if we are portioning blame, let's do that. UWP is supposed to take some blame. Out of the last 7 elections, the SLP won 5, the UWP won 2. So let's divide that into 100. We get 28% blame for UWP, 72% blame for SLP. They still get the lion's share. Pierre has been there as Deputy Prime Minister and Prime Minister for 5 terms. He is supposed to be the most ready. He's been there for everything from 1997. He was either in opposition or in government. There with Kenny Anthony. 5 out of 7 terms. He has people around him who's been there. He has a senior minister in Stephenson King. Richard Frederick has been there. Emma Hippolyte. These people are not newbies on the field. Are they the problem? Because if with all that experience, all that money, y'all been there for so long, and you're still trying to blame the one government that had to deal with COVID and your financial mess from 2006, and y'all want to blame them. And we St. Lucians are sitting down there, listening to them, letting them get away with it. Tim, I'm getting frustrated. A lot of people are getting frustrated. We're getting sick and tired of this. I listened to the House of Assembly there, and I heard the problems. They come, they speak, then they tell you, they stand up in support of they blame. I listened to Richard Frederick, I listened to the one from Cashew Southeast. They blame, they sit down there, give us all the revisionist history on the UWP and blame it. And I stand in support of the bill. I was waiting for them to tell me, here are the strategies, here are the solutions we're going to put for the future. So they look backwards. They put the blame on somebody. They don't tell us nothing of what they're going to do. You are elected to solve the problems. Yes, you tell us what the problem is. Tell us what you're going to do. They all sit down there, blame somebody else, and people in St. Lucia sit down there. Because they voted for the government, they don't want to hold them accountable. We cannot keep running a country like that. We need leadership. We need people to come up with Stephenson King was the one I heard that make, and he said that several times. Give him his credit. I've heard him say that for like the 10, 15 years. He said, we need to have a plan, a long-term plan. And he repeated that again last week. We need to have a plan that says, and we need to put it in legislation, that certain plans, when the government comes in, they cannot stop. It has to continue because we lose too much money, too much time. Government start, stop. Even the EU have a plan. The African Union have a plan 2063. Every little town and city around the United States, in Singapore, everywhere, they have plans for 2045, 2050. They have a vision plan. They have a long-term plan. They tweak it as they go along. What is St. Lucia doing? Standing up there and telling us who's to blame. Here's the problem, who's to blame for it, and they offer us nothing. We get nothing from this government. We have a government that has the most money of any government in the history of St. Lucia, and these people are standing up there telling us blame people who were there 5, 6, 7 years ago, and they take no responsibility. They cannot do the job, get out and leave it for somebody to do it. We are sick and tired of that bullshit.
One of our 2 NewsSpin callers of the day extracted from yesterday's broadcast. Let me turn my attention to you, Jante. Let's find out what is in the chat room and also still to come our NewsSpin news of the day.
Starting off on YouTube, Tim, our first comment reads, St. Lucia finished under this Labour Party. Captain, the ship is sinking. Hope St. Lucia has really good swimmers. Never mind the Marjorie support. Go and give this lady support. Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, Duct tape and crazy glue administration. Everything is temporary solutions. Currently, we are on the brink of bankruptcy. The solution for Wasco is to fire management. AP, that's it. Go harvest your water. You need to step down. We have another commentator saying, the entire network needs to be modernized and redesigned. I find Invest St. Lucia very disrespectful to Marie. Who told you that everywhere around the world has a water crisis because of climate change? That's a big lie. In Iceland, we don't have water crisis and never had, never will have. Too many excuses, PJP. We have a few more comments here reading. The lady is fighting alone. Sad. The difference between Marjorie and Marie is that Marjorie had RF and he was involved. He isn't involved with Marie, so nothing will happen for her. Maybe he didn't see an opportunity here to gain money. We have another comment reading. Philip, you're going to borrow 600 million and budget is just around the corner. Make that make sense for me, Gasa. Nasty move towards Marie by Invest St. Lucia and Hele. Why are people comparing Marjorie with another vendor on another beach? Those are 2 different cases on different beaches. Miss Marjorie took a lawyer to negotiate on her behalf. We have more comments on our Facebook page saying, if the situation is climate change and we're getting water from Dominica, so no climate change in Dominica? When you appoint people to leadership and management positions based on political alignment rather than ability or capability, what do you expect? Our final comment saying, St. Lucia Labour Party has a whole bunch of crooked individuals running the country. But one of these days, we Lucians will cry out, wolves, wolves.
Thank you much, Jante, for that update, the final one from you. And finally, we have our NewsSpin News of the Day. The NewsSpin News of the Day reads, Pope Leo calls universal health care a moral imperative. Pope Leo calls universal health care a moral imperative. That's your NewsSpin News of the Day. That's a broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. Don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the NewsSpin channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. Enjoy your weekend. God willing, we'll be back on Monday. Goodbye.